A year and a half ago, I made a decision that would change the course of my life forever. I turned 25 in November of 2022, and I had some kind of like quarter life crisis. I was feeling stagnant, and I knew I had to shake things up. I needed to leave my hometown, which is in Pennsylvania. I wanted to really push myself out of my comfort zone, so I decided to move where I knew absolutely no one. I wanted to completely start over. I had never been to Phoenix, Arizona, so I decided that a new place mixed with abundant sunshine would be the perfect fit. So, like a week later, after I decided I was going to move, I figured I should probably go check this place out. So, I booked an Airbnb and went to visit for 2 days. While I was there visiting, I remembered that a friend of mine who I graduated high school with also lived here. I hit her up, she showed me around, and I liked it. She dropped me back off my Airbnb and I enjoyed the rest of my visit. I figured, I would move here if the conditions were perfect, if I could get a job, a good opportunity, but I'd probably have to wait till like the springtime to really make the move. Then, as I'm flying back to Pennsylvania, and you can really not make this up, I just happened to see her standing outside of TSA. She was going home to visit her family for the holidays. Just by chance, she says, "Hey, if you were serious about moving here, my roommate is moving out, so you can move in with us." It's funny how life kind of nudges you in a certain direction. You get these like intuitive impulses to do something, and you can't logically explain why you need to do it. And you'll know it's the right path because things almost just magically work out and align. Make sure you listen to your gut. If you start to see signs, a certain place keeps coming up, then it's life pushing you to go in that direction. There is a reason for it. I believe that there's a reason why I was called to move here. So she offered for me to move into her two-bedroom apartment. She was in one room, her friend was in another room, and then they had like an upstairs loft that didn't have fully enclosed walls but was about a small room size. And she said I could live in that loft for $450 a month, but I had to take her offer by the next month or else her other friend would move in. Meanwhile, I applied to a job in Phoenix that I really thought I was going to get, but it ended up not working out. I had a pretty good job in my hometown, so I saved up some money living at home. But I had a big decision to make. I knew it was now or never. So I decided to take the leap, quit everything, leave my friends and family behind, and move across the country 2,000 miles to a place that I had really never been before. If you ever have an opportunity to move to a new place, I highly recommend that you do it. I'm going to talk about my experience now being here a year and a half, all the amazing things that happened to me, but also all the struggles that I faced that you need to consider before you do this. I remember the first time I finally arrived in Phoenix for good, I was driving in and it kind of hit me. I was kind of like, what the hell have I just done? It really hit me that I wasn't going back to Pennsylvania. I was really here to stay. I don't know anyone, I don't know where anything is, and it was scary. The unknown is always scary, but it's also freeing. Couldn't really fathom when I was making this decision that my family would now be a $500 plane ticket away. I couldn't just go see them whenever I want. I really haven't been too homesick because I've visited frequently enough since I moved out here, but that's something you really have to consider before moving. It was scary, it was uncomfortable, but it really forced me to become independent and be resilient and adapt. It forced me to be social and make friends. It forced me to develop myself and pretty much gave me the space to become whoever I want. While it was great to get away and be free, I also realized very quickly that you can't just get up and move and run from your problems. You can completely change environments, move across the country, but the same problems will still follow you. They'll present themselves in different situations with different people until you solve them. If you struggle with people pleasing and saying no and setting boundaries, if you keep getting into bad relationships, if you keep being lazy and unhealthy, then things won't magically change. You have the opportunity to start over and mold yourself how you choose. You have an opportunity to break bad habits and get yourself out of negative cycles. When I got here, I was like, dang, I don't know anyone. I can literally be whoever I want. I don't have to worry about running into people I know at the grocery store. I don't have to be nervous. I can be confident. My social anxiety pretty much went to zero. Especially if you are trying to go for a big self transformation. It's funny how people in your hometown will always tend to see you as that prior version of yourself. And that can hold you back. The fear of being judged, the fear of being different, it's very freeing to go to a completely new environment. I can be the most outgoing version of myself, or I can stay in and just grind on my goals. I didn't have any obligations, no plans with friends or family, nothing. I don't have to meet anyone's expectations. I don't have to go out and drink, which I really haven't done much since I moved here. Again, pretty cool, but also scary. And now I have a girlfriend and I found a good relationship because I gave myself the permission to be fully myself and to be authentic. And I will say that in reality, I learned that you really don't have to leave your hometown to find that freedom. The freedom is all up here in your mind, but it's much, much easier to find it when you move. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to start my own business. I knew that since I really didn't know anyone, I didn't have any obligations, that I would have a lot of time on my hands, so this would be the perfect time to do it. It'd be the perfect opportunity to forge my own path. And that turned into the Higher Self Project. So I've had the time and the space and the freedom because I saved up money before moving to really start finding myself and my purpose. I think you can really find yourself when you leave the comfort of your hometown and really have to figure out life for yourself. Moving has expanded my perception of reality like crazy. My mind has expanded in ways that I can't even explain. There is so much power in exposing your mind to a completely unfamiliar environment, adjusting to a brand new culture, opening your mind to an entirely new way of living. The arts and the general vibe here is completely different than my hometown, and the food has pretty much like opened the eyes of my taste buds. Living in a new climate, in the sunny, hot, and dry desert with the cacti, getting my first experience living in a bigger city, having to live and adapt to different conditions, like living in a loft that doesn't have enclosed walls, and then finally getting a room and space to my own. And I made friends that like to travel, so I've been all over Arizona to California to Oregon to Utah to Colorado and going to Washington soon. Phoenix is interesting in particular because while there is a deep culture here, especially with the Mexican and Native American influences, its cultural identity is sometimes missing because there's so many new people moving here. A lot of people are around the same age as me and doing the same kind of thing as me, moving from the Northeast or the Midwest. Lots of people from California and the Northwest too. And then you have snowbirds who are here for half the year. So I've met people from a bunch of different states and walks of life. My roommate is from Vietnam, and I've been exposed to the indigenous culture here. It's been really, really eye opening. Hopefully, this video gave you some answers if you're questioning uprooting your life and taking a leap. If you have an opportunity, I'd say do it. You can always move back home. If you run out of money, if you fail, you can always just drive back home. But you will regret not taking this opportunity. Don't forget to give the video a like, comment with any feedback, and subscribe to support the channel. Peace.